What's up, guys? Today I'm going to show you how I plan to turn $15,000 into over $1 million in a single trade. I've done this multiple times and I think I'm going to do it again because I've been waiting months for a narrative that makes sense, a narrative that can actually run into the hundreds of millions and have at some point in the future the potential to cross $1 billion. Because if you go look right now at coin market cap, you will see that 3, 6, 7 meme coins have hit $1 billion. Okay, and so that is very little, right? Brett was above $1 billion today. It's just right under. Which, by the way, guys, who remembers when I called Brett 5 months ago and I turned $15,000 into 7.4 million at the moment, and I'm still holding because I think my bag of Brett is going to be worth well over $100 million plus this cycle. So as someone who has done it before, and I've done it on multiple plays, which we can go over my wallets again if you need me to, but right now I want to focus on the play, okay? And so that play is on Tron, and I have so much good reasoning for why I think this is going to blow up, and that's why I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I will share my wallet with everyone. I just want to point out, all right, not every play is going to be as good as Brett. Okay, but this play could be damn good and it makes a lot of sense. And basically be very careful not watching this video all the way through, because you may think you're buying the right coin and you may actually buy the wrong coin, and it turns out you're going to get rug pulled. It turns out you're actually going to turn $1,000 into zero instead of actually making 100x and turning 1,000 into 100,000, for example. So I highly advise you're watching this video, you watch it all the way through before you buy the wrong coin and end up losing your money instead of making a life-changing amount possibly, or a very nice amount. So the coin is at 3.3 million market cap and it's called Tron BULL. Now, this is interesting because when you go to the actual Tron website, okay, trondao.org, this is when I first noticed this coin. Okay, so I noticed this mascot right here on the website 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. So clearly it's not an accident, right? I started noticing, I'm like, all right, Tron has this mascot guy 6 times on their website. I started digging, I looked a little further, and I found this article about the official release of the new Tron mascot, and this came out back in 2021. And so I read about it. Basically, summary short, is that after the COVID pandemic, Tron released this mascot as a sign of encouragement and hope for the blockchain, for everyone in Tron, right? This was their symbol of hope and courage. And so then, well, what do I do? Naturally, I start to piece the puzzle together, right? I'm like, all right, he's on the website. It's literally the official mascot of Tron. And I'm like, well, surely there's got to be a coin based on that mascot, right? So I start looking, I go around, I'm looking, and I'm noticing all these rugs, right? I notice, for example, right here, there is this, plenty of rugs that have been done. And I'm just like, why are all these rugs, man, just launching left and right? And there's just no serious, one. I'm like, I know the amount of numbers that this can do. I know this thing can absolutely blow up. So I go on Sunpump, which, if you guys don't know, this is the fair launch platform for meme coins on Tron. And I start looking and I find right here, no pre-sale, no team allocation, lower gas, right? So I start going on Sunpump, I'm looking around and I'm looking for a Tron BULL, because I'm like, well, there's got to be one that's going to blow up, right? And so days ago, I'm looking around, and that's when I ran into this one right here. And see, you see how many Tron BULLs there are, man? I mean, and what are they all? They're all rugged, right? And so you have to go through all these to really determine what is the right one, which one actually has staying power. And so there's so many freaking rugs in the space. That's why you have to do your research. So after looking through all the tickers, after looking through everything, right? And looking at, for example, I've noticed some tickers, I notice the KOLs, right? The influencers they're paying. And there's some coins where if they have some influencers that I know have a track record of, for example, just rugging, or just coins that go to zero 90% of the time, I know to stay away from that coin. And I also know that a lot of influencers, if you just give them a percent, then they'll just shill it, right? And so when I was able to look at, first, most of these are all rugs, and two, a couple that are somewhat close to zero but somewhat alive, I see the influencers that they're paying, and that's how I know to stay far the fuck away from some of these tickers. And so basically, after doing all my research and looking through all these Tron bulls, ultimately I landed on this one, right? And so this is why I wanted to warn you guys to be very careful not to buy a wrong one, because then you could literally, there could be one that goes up 100x and you're sitting there in one that's going down to zero, or one that the dev is literally just paying a few retarded influencers and they're just selling on your head right away. The thing about me, I actually put my money where my mouth is, unlike a lot of people out there, and that's the truth. I turned 15,000 into 7.5 million on Brett. I turned 30,000 into over $1 million on Bobo. I turned 30,000 into over $1 million on Resistance Dog. I've done this time and time again publicly in front of people, and so I think this is a really, really good chance to have a trade very similar. Now, once again, I don't ever expect any trade to really be as good as Brett, because I do believe Brett is the number one meme coin of the cycle. I think it's the equivalent to buying Shiba Inu, right? SHIB back in 2021. But I think on Tron, it makes sense that this would be the number one meme coin on Tron, given that it is literally on their website and it's an official mascot for the coin, right? And so not only that, right, if that wasn't enough, that, also Justin's son is pro meme coins and he wants them to blow up, but also look at this. If you go to Tron DAO's Twitter, guess what they're doing? They're actually posting the guy every single day. Look at him right there. Look at him right here. They even have him doing the gritty, which, if you guys don't know, that's like a dance and that NFL player kind of made famous, and they got him bench pressing, and this guy is a little Chingus fucker, but it's good to see that he's lifting weights, he's putting in the work, and that's another positive sign for me. So anyways, bro, they're literally posting this guy every single day, and yet there's no freaking meme coin that won't rug. And so when I looked at all these opportunities, I finally found the one that looks safe. I found the one that looks like, gosh, there's actually some effort put into this thing. It actually looks like the people care about it. I joined the Telegram, right? And you can join the Telegram and see for yourself and feel it out for yourself too. I see that while all these other Tron bulls are rugging and shitting the bed or paying guys who I know have horrible track records, it became very clear which by the way, you see, I already did all the research. If you guys want to go through and do the research for days, go for it. But ultimately, as someone who's turned 15,000 into 7.5 million on Brett, 30K into over $1 million on Redo, 30K into over $1 million on Bobo, as someone who, look, in my opinion, I am the most proven meme coin trader of all time in the world, because it's not like I just got lucky on one play. I've done it over and over. In 8 of my last 9 plays, I've done over 100x. I mean, guys, you can have fun chasing any other ticker you want. Like, I really don't care. If you want to go buy this one that's rugged, this one that's rugged, you want to go buy that rug, you want to go buy that rug, you want to say this rug is the real one, you want to say that's the real one, man, go for it. Like, have fun. And that's the thing, right? Before Brett, there was like 1 million Bretts out there, right? The same story happened with Brett and Pepe, man. There was 1 million Pepes before the one. There was 1 million Bretts before the one. And, guess what? There's 1 million rugs before the one. There's 1 million shitty attempts before the one. That's why it's our job as traders, investors, or speculators. We got to look at this shit, and we got to see which one actually looks the best. Which one... That's so funny. I just opened up this thing and it says soy from a previous drawing session of mine. But you got to look at that stuff for yourself. And so, but for me, it's very clear, and I am going to be very bullish on this. And I think it's the clearest, narrative on the entire network. And I don't think it can get more obvious than literally the mascot is in front of your face on the website. Tron DAO is posting this guy every single day. Justin's son is bullish on meme coins. He wants them to succeed. So why wouldn't he want the mascot of his own blockchain to succeed? And so I think as word gets out, as people start to catch on, and so, man, I remember when people were telling me that I'm not in the right Brett. They're like, well, you should be on Brett on Ethereum. It's like, those guys' shit is at zero. It's like, come on, guys. 7.4 million. Was I really in the wrong Brett, turning 15,000 into 15 million? And I just laugh because you should have seen how, I mean, if you guys have been around, you've been watching for a while. I mean, there were seriously people trying to argue with me while I'm making 15 million, on paper. It's just like, really? I'm not in the right one? And so, look, man, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to be actually buying 15K into Tron Bull. And what I'm going to do is I've loaded up my wallet, as you can see here, with a 100,000 Tron, about 15,000 bucks. So make sure you guys know, by the way, the contract address starts with TAT4, all right? And you can buy it either here on sunpump.meme with that contract address. I'll leave a link below for you, or you can actually go to SunSwap. And what we'll do is we'll do this together so you can watch how I'm doing it. And maybe I'll make an updated video on how to actually buy in another video. But see, what I'm going to do is, what you'll do is you'll take the contract address, okay, copy it into SunSwap, paste it here. It'll show you the token, and then you'll add it. So anyways, I'm going to actually swap in around 15,000. No, actually, I'm gonna break it into 5 smaller buys. Now, while I wait on that, I want to recap again what we have. We have the official mascot on their actual website that was made in 2021 after the COVID pandemic, as a sign of, vitality to the Tron brand and encouragement. Then you have a founder who's a multi-billionaire who's talking about how he's the best bull posting founder and that Tron is the kingdom of memes. So basically what I think is going to happen, a ton of people are going to be coming over to Tron. They're going to be looking for a meme coin, and guess what they're going to find? Eventually, people are going to catch on. There's this guy on the website who's the official mascot, and this is the thing that no other meme coin on this entire network has. It's the fact that, yes, you can see it factually, proof, right? That mascot is on their website. There is no other coin, there is no other mascot, there is no other animal or any guy out there who's on the website than this little motherfucker right here. Okay, so that is automatically, that's a big edge that this has over anything else, because no other coin can say that, right? And so for that reason, I think this will be the #1 meme on Tron, or in the absolute worst case, #2, because there's already one that is quite a bit higher at the moment. But let's actually talk about that. That's an interesting point to make, because I remember on Base, you had Toshi before Brett came. I remember on Solana, you had Bonk before Dog with Hat came. I remember on Ethereum, you had Shib before currently Pepe has come. And guess what? It seems to be that the second mover is actually always the big meme. It's the second one that actually always surpasses the first one. Once again, we saw with Toshi with Brett, we saw Bonk with Whiff, and we saw Shib is about to get passed up by Pepe soon. So I actually think there's an advantage to being this second meme that people sleep on, because as people basically get prepared, they get into the chain and they start knowing how to use it, right? What happens is a lot of people end up actually rotating from these other memes, and because they already know how to use the chain, into that second clear major winner that ends up actually surpassing the other ones. So basically what ends up happening is, for example, a lot of people end up selling what they're in because they already made, for example, 100x on something, right? And then they've already been active on the network. And then they end up actually throwing that into the next clear winner. And so that's what I've noticed, is the second one has always surpassed the first one. We saw it on Base, we saw it on Solana, and we're seeing it happen on Pepe. And I think we're going to see that happen again on Tron. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and buy some more here. Okay, so I'm going to put in my last buy order for Tron Bull here, all $15,000. I'm using it up right here. We got $9,000 left to buy in. So let's go ahead and put this last buy order. And so, yeah, actually overtake and become the #1 meme on this entire network. And so what ends up happening, I noticed about characters, is a lot of times you don't know what Brett is. You don't know what this guy is initially. But what it ends up evolving into is truly the mascot of the chain as people become invested into it and their money is on the line with this little guy. They start to have emotion and they start to feel that character and care about that character and seeing it do well. And so you couldn't have it come together any more perfectly. And that's why meme coins work so well, is because people find out about this thing. They start getting invested. They start getting emotional and attached to the outcome and result of this character. And then they start to what? Make content about that character. They start to tell other people about that character. They start to tell other people about the opportunity. And then all of a sudden you get this viral effect where it becomes very evident who the #1 meme coin on Tron is. And so that's basically what I am anticipating, multiple steps ahead. And also remember, being the #2 meme has never been a bad thing. Bonk is at a 1.4 billion market cap. Shib and Pepe are both at 3 billion plus market caps as the #1 and 2 memes on Ethereum. Toshi is at 50 million. Meanwhile, Brett is at a billion. And so basically the way I see it is, as long as you're the #1 or #2 meme coin on a blockchain, one, as we've seen on Base, you're going to hold value, right? Toshi and Brett, as you can see, Bonk and Dog with Hat, Shib and Pepe. As you can see, the top 2 memes on every single chain hold value. Whether you like them or not, they become a what? A ratio of their blockchains. Once again, Shiba Inu became 7.9% the value of Ethereum. Dog with Hat became 6% the value of Solana. And so basically what I'm thinking here is, once again, on ETH, it was a 7.9% difference or ratio between the #1 meme and the blockchain. Once again, on Solana, 6% the #1 meme to the blockchain. And so what I think is going to happen is that this can be roughly 3 to 6% the value of Tron, which takes this to what? If my thesis works out, this could be anywhere between 300 million to $1 billion market cap long term. But also you need to factor in Tron going up, right? If Tron goes up to a 3x, right, and it gets to a 50 billion market cap, 3 to 6% of that would take this thing to what? It would take it to around 1.5 billion to a 3 billion market cap. So you need to do the numbers, you need to do the math. But basically what you need to hone in on is a thesis and be confident that what you're buying, if it is the #1 meme or #2 meme on a blockchain, you can be confident that it's not going to go to zero, right? Because now it automatically becomes a ratio of its blockchain, and that's how these can be what people think are really risky meme coin bets. They actually turn into very fundamental ratios of their blockchains. And so that's what I'm betting on, is the absolute worst case scenario. There's no way that this would be worse than the #2 meme coin on this chain. What's more likely is that this is the #1 meme coin on its blockchain, which then what? Entitles it to becoming 3 to 6 to even 10% the value of its blockchain. And if that happens, now this is a fundamental solid play, because it is a fact. #1 memes, #2 memes on their blockchains remain a ratio of their network's value. They are a part of the network. They are actually what contributes to a lot of the network value, activity, and transactions. So basically, my thesis for this is that I think Tron Bull is going to be, this cycle, anywhere between 3 and 10% the value of its blockchain. And so it then becomes a ratio of Tron and its success. And so that's the thing about Tron, right? Tron is, it's only now blowing up for meme coins, right? We don't know the future of how big Tron will be for meme coins, but what I do know is that I can make a confident, calculated bet that makes actual sense, because it's the only coin on the entire network that can say they're actually on the website of Tron, that's actually being posted by Tron. And so what I'm doing actually is I'm taking a leverage bet on the blockchain, because what you'll notice if you study meme coins is they actually go up far more than their blockchain. So if the blockchain goes up 5x, then you see the meme coins usually going up 20x plus. If the blockchain goes up 3x, then the meme coins going up 10x plus. And so the reality is, though, because this is actually so far at the current moment from that 3 to 6% value of the network right now, and I know this is super messy, my specialty is not at doing some beautiful graphics, But basically what you need to just have confidence in is that the number one and number two memes are what? 3 to 6% the value of their chain. So that's what I'm betting on. If I am right, and if which I do believe, like, come on, bro, you're telling me I'm not right? You're telling me this isn't going to be the number one, number two meme on this chain? Then I already know I won, because I know you take 3 to 5% of Tron's market cap, and that is fair value for this, right? In a meme coin bubble. And so that is kind of my mindset towards this, and that's why I'm so confident to put in $15,000 under a 5 million market cap, because I'm very confident that this should be in the hundreds of millions, if not potentially reach $1 billion in the future, depending on how well and successful Tron as a chain is for meme coins, because this will be a ratio of Tron and its market cap. That is why this is my clear bet on Tron, and that's why I've now put, what, 15,000 into it if my buy went through. So as you can see, my wallet, I will paste it down below for everyone to track. I got myself 0.37% for $15,000, and I have a feeling this is going to age incredibly well. And you know, personally, like I said, I'm only interested in owning the number one and number two meme on a blockchain. And so, you know, what we're currently looking at for this blockchain, right? By the way, the current number one meme on this blockchain is at a 230 million market cap. So let me ask you, would you rather buy the current number one meme, which we've seen time and time again? The current number one memes always get flipped, actually, right? Toshi got flipped, Bonk got flipped, Shib is going to get flipped, bro, by Pepe. You watch, okay? So you're telling me you would rather buy this at a 40, 50x times higher valuation or market cap than the actual mascot that's actually on the website? Come on. You see, and so that's what I'm trying to bet on. What I'm betting on is humans and the way that they react to this information. They're going to look at this and they're going to say, there is this current number one meme at 200 million market cap, 50x higher, and yet it's not even on the actual website of Tron, right? And so who are they going to bet on? What are people going to bet on? When they see this at 100 million market cap or this at 200 million market cap, what are they going to buy? Of course, people are going to say, I'm going to go with the one that's actually on the website of the freaking Tron, the one that's actually being posted daily by Tron DAO on Twitter. You see? So that's the bet I'm making. I'm anticipating what people are going to think in advance, and that's why I think even at 100 million, people are going to look at that, they're going to say, this is at 200 million, this is at 100 million, I'm buying the one that's actually on the site, the one that's actually being posted, right? So that is why this is such a clear bet, and that's how what I can ultimately see happening is a lot of people will probably be selling their other meme coins on the blockchain once this starts to catch traction, once it starts to pick up and people start to realize, why would I bet on these coins that aren't even the actual mascot, that aren't even actually being backed by the Twitter every day and on the website, and actually where Tron, in their own words, says the official release of their own mascot. So it is just the clearest bet I've ever seen on Tron. And that's why I'm so excited about this play, because I think for me this cycle, I don't need to make another bet on Tron. This is all I'm going to hold on Tron this cycle. I'm just going to hold Tron Bull, the literal mascot of the chain that's actually on their website, because please tell me another meme coin that's actually on their website. You can't. So it's the clearest bet on Tron in my eyes. And of course, there's going to be other meme coins that do good on this chain, but when we're talking about multiples, we're talking about X's, and how even once this gets to 100 million plus market cap, it still looks like a great bet, right? When you ask yourself that question, when you plug in a lot of meme coins like Sunkey, right? If you said, okay, this is at 100 million market cap, do I still want to buy it? No, the answer is no. It looks horrible. I can't believe it's at 100 million. I want to get the fuck out and take my money. But what you got to look at in the future is things that look still like great bets once they're getting into the hundreds of millions, because those are the things that can actually crack above $1 billion at some point, which is what very few meme coins have done. And that's what I ultimately want, is to have the greatest freaking calls ever. And I've done it time and time again, and this one just makes perfect sense. And so for my bet on Tron this cycle, it's going to be Tron Bull. And there's nothing that comes even close to this on this entire network in terms of narrative, in terms of perspective. Once this actually is breaking into hundreds of millions, what people actually look at and think, right? about the value and how they compare it to the other memes on the chain, because comparative value is where memes get most of their value. How? Because people look at Doge, for example, and they say, well, this is the #1 meme and it hit 80 billion. So then people are like, what? Well, they're like, well, if the #1 dog coin hit 80 billion, then the second biggest dog coin should hit half as much, which is exactly what happened. SHIB ended up hitting 40 billion market cap. And then people are like, well, the next biggest dog coin should hit at least half of that. And so now you have dog with hat, which hit 5 billion market cap, right? And is trying to work its way to getting to half of SHIB, for example. And so that's how values are really created in meme coins, is by comparing the value of other things. And so when you look at these things and you look at the #1 currently, you can just anticipate in advance that people are going to think, well, this is a way better bet at a way lower market cap. And then as this is at 100 mil, and if this is still only at 200 million, well, look, the reality is people are going to do what? They're going to buy the one that's 2x cheaper because it also has a stronger narrative and it's actually on the site. So guys, I think I've said it enough at this point. I think it's, it's one of the most simple narratives ever. And that's why this is my bet on Tron. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed my reasoning. And I think that this will, pay off really well. And I think that this will be probably one of the best meme coin plays of the cycle for me. But I want to, if you made it this far and you really follow me, I think we should talk about something, right? Which is that, once again, this is a ratio of its chain. And Tron is quite a speculative chain. For meme coins, right? Because it's very new in meme coin adoption. It's only now starting. So we don't know, the reality is Tron could just stay here for a long time and just be a stable coin blockchain. And if that's the case, then the ceiling on the meme coins would be limited. But if Tron really takes off for the meme coins and this goes to a $50 billion market cap plus in a bull market, then obviously that opens the ceiling for Tron. And so personally for me, it's so important understanding that meme coins are leveraged bets on their blockchains. You need to pick the right chain. And that's why, for example, Brett works so damn well, is because people have a lot of confidence in Coinbase to actually onboard users into the network. So Brett becomes a leverage bet on Base. Tron Bull, the literal mascot of the chain, will be what? A leverage bet on Tron and this chain's performance. You got to realize memes can only be as good as their actual blockchains because they become ratios of their blockchains. That's what you got to realize. So if you're really bullish on Tron and you think Tron is going to pull a 3x plus, which I personally do think Tron will hit a 50 billion market cap, right? Then once again, that raises the ceiling and the potential for the memes on here. But if you think, oh, Tron's a shit chain, I don't like it, and it's only for stablecoins, then obviously that's going to lower your targets and what you think is possible for the top memes on this chain. But I want to give you my honest opinion about all the blockchains this cycle. So personally, I think Base is the #1 blockchain that has the most confidence going into a bull run, that has a very good logical assessment of the value, right? And let me break down one of the logical kind of ways to look at this, right? Which is that Binance Coin is at 84 million as the #1 exchange in the world. And I meant to say billion, by the way. 84 billion market cap. So what do a lot of people do? Remember how I was talking about how people look at like the #1 dog coin was 80 billion. Then the #2 dog coin was 40 billion. Then the the next dog coin is 5 billion. Okay, so as you can see, right, you go from 80 billion to 40 billion to 5 billion for dog coins. Well, the same comparative value analysis applies to the largest exchange in the world. So what happens is people look at Binance Coin and they're like, well, that's an 85 billion market cap. Therefore, Coinbase is the second biggest exchange in the world. And so Coinbase should be at least a $40 billion coin. And so then knowing that Brett, for example, is a ratio of its chain and its success. If people believe that the value of Base comparative to Binance is 40 billion and Brett becomes 5 to 6% of that, right, then you get a market cap in the multiple billions. And see, this is the thing. Base has such a strong case because it is factually the second largest exchange in the world right under Binance, which, people look at that and they think, well, Coinbase should be 40 billion, meaning Brett should be a ratio of 40 billion, like 6% of that, for example, at least. But then you got to realize that the market caps in a bubble are going to rise. So Binance could actually be at 160 billion and Coinbase chain could be at 80 billion market cap in the minds of people. Then you take 6% of 80 billion to reach at the logical ratio for the number one meme coin on base for Brett, right? So once again, once you realize that, these no longer become gambles once you actually have confidence that, yeah, this is the number one or number two meme in the entire world on this blockchain. Now, I want you to notice the drop off. See, number one and number two will always be the largest. It doesn't matter if that's fast food restaurants. It doesn't matter if that's shoe brands. It doesn't matter if it's the top played NBA players. Number one and number two always take up the largest share, right? And as you work your way down the ladder, right, you go from the number third dog coin to the number 10th dog coin. It's a massive difference. The number 10 dog coin is probably only like, 100 million market cap right now. Whereas, if you go down the list of Tron meme coins, you're going to have the number one doing the absolute best. And as you work your way down to number 10, dude, the number 10, Tron coin may only be like a 5 mil market cap. Whereas the number one meme on Tron can be at a 500 million market cap, right? So that is why it pays to identify opportunities that are at the top of the food chain early on. And that's why when you look at these things and you can use logic and you can have confidence that, well, no shit, this makes sense to be the number one meme, number two at worst case meme on this entire network. It's freaking literally on the website, literally being posted by them, literally the actual mascot. That's when you can actually make what? Multiple X's, like a lot of X's, because you can then you can create a logical argument that, okay, the number one meme on Tron should be what? 6% the value of that chain, which puts it around an 800 million to a 1.1 billion market cap. So then you get 1.1 billion for the number one. Then what? People will look at the 1.1 billion market cap meme, right? Whatever that is. And I think, long term, right? These are long term numbers. These are at the peak of the bubble. What they're reaching is around 6 to 10% of the value of the chain. Then people look at that 1.1 billion and they say, well, the second largest meme on that chain should be half as much. It should be 550 million. You see? And so that is the way I'm seeing it. A leverage bet on Tron, if this stays stagnant, these are the values that make sense in a bubble for the number one and number two meme. Now, if this market cap actually explodes 3x, then you take these values and you make it 3x, right? Because it's just a proportion is the way I see it. Now, to a lot of people, they think, oh, this is so crazy. You really think that that's how this shit works? Buddy, you can fucking try to tell me that's not how shit works, but actually people try to overcomplicate this stuff to be a lot more than it actually is. They try to convince you that it takes an absolute genius when actually it takes someone to realize how simple this shit is and actually show people that. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to show you that, look, number one meme on a chain is not a gamble. It's an actual ratio of its blockchain's value. And if you can get that and you can be confident that you're in that number one or number two meme, and especially if you can identify early an opportunity that makes sense to go to 500 million or a billion, or just even reach into the hundreds of millions, you are going to kill it. And that's what I've done time and time again. And that's why I'm only betting on one single meme this cycle, because to me, at the price that I'm finding this, under 100 million market cap, under 50 million market cap, it makes no sense to buy any other meme coin on this chain to me. There is no better bet on this entire blockchain when I look at it. There's nothing that makes more sense. So, guys, that is my bet on Tron. And, I bought in here at 3 million, 4 million. And so I think from my entry, this is an easily, I'm so confident this ends up being number one, number two meme on this entire blockchain, meaning hundreds of millions of market cap, if not, especially depending on Tron's potential, that opens up the potential to $1 billion plus market cap for the number one, number two meme on this chain. And so once again, I know where my bet is on. It is on Tron Bull. Now, guys, I know this video is long, so if there's one key takeaway I want you to get from it, is that the number one meme on a blockchain is actually not a gamble. It's a fundamental, solid bet, because it is a fact. The number one meme on a blockchain becomes a ratio of its blockchain, typically ranging between 5 to 10%. And so that is your key that you need to understand. Number one meme equals 5 to 10% of a chain, but then the number two meme, then what? Oftentimes is becoming half as valuable as the number one meme on the chain. And then once you start working your way down the ladder, like number 3, 5, it starts getting a little diluted, right? The longer the list, longer down the list you go. But yeah, so it's like kind of like, hey, once again, remember Binance 80 billion. So people think Coinbase is 40 billion, which by the way, Coinbase stock, for example, market cap, let's look at it. I think it's around 40 billion actually right now. So yeah, Coinbase market cap 49 billion, Binance 80 billion in token form, right? Number one Dogcoin 80 billion, which was Doge, SHIB 40 billion. So it's just, that's kind of just how stuff works. That's comparative value analysis. That's how people look at the world, and that's how they value things. They say, well, number 2 should be at least half as valuable, and then it gets diluted. It keeps going down the ladder. So anyways, what you'll know is that the number one meme on this chain should reach 5 to 10% the value of Tron this cycle. And so my bet is that Tron Bull will become either the number 1 or, in the absolute worst case, the number 2 meme. And so, you know, let's say Tron, I'm just giving you a real quick rundown once again of the way I see it. 5% of what I think Tron can easily pull is a 3x as bull market to a 50 billion market cap. You take 5% of 50 billion, and that gives the valuation, you know, the ratio for what the number one meme on Tron would be is 2.5 billion. Okay, so I just hope you're starting to see how simple the actual thought process is for memes, but you have to actually then be able to select what is that top meme, what is it? And personally, I don't think there's anyone better in the world than myself at this. So I mean, I've proven it time and time again. So I'm excited to see how Tron Bull plays out, because I think I'm going to be right, and hopefully I'll be making this 9 out of my last 10 bets have done 100x plus. And I think it will. It just makes sense. It's not hype, man. This is not FOMO. This ain't, oh, we're going to the moon, this and that. No, it's like, no, number one meme on Tron should become 6% the value of the chain. It's at 13 billion right now. Has upside of 50 billion plus. And even by, you see, based on how I was looking at it, right? Tron right now is at 13 billion. If it goes, okay, to 50 billion, right? At 50 billion, take the number one meme, 5% of that is 2.5 billion. So number one meme, 2.5 billion market cap in the peak of the bull market, and what I'm calling is going to be a meme coin bubble. Now take half of that for the number 2 meme, and you got 1.2 billion market cap, or 1 billion market cap in a bubble. So I know worst case, bro, I know this ain't a number, this is worst case number 2 meme or number 1. So basically what I see as the bubble upside is that if Tron hits 50 billion, if Tron only stays at 13 billion forever, divided by 3, this is 800 million. And right, if things just stay constant, Tron doesn't grow from here, this is 400 million. So what is that, bro? Literally the numbers. Look at the numbers. Okay, Tron Bull, 5 million market cap. That is right there. I have so many freaking tabs. That's an 80x, and that's actually exactly 100x from where I just got in today at 4 million market cap. So the numbers add up. The logic makes sense, by the way. This is just one of the clearest bets I've ever seen in my life, actually. Now, I just want to say, this isn't the 6th infinity stone that I was planning, but I have a very good feeling that this will actually replace one of my current infinity stones. If you don't know what an infinity stone is, that's kind of like the top 6 meme coin plays that I'm holding this cycle. And so personally, I do believe that this is actually going to make its way into my top 6 meme basket. And it's probably going to kick one of my memes out of my basket. But the 6th stone, that is something that that is truly my most confident bet this cycle outside of Brett. And the time has not come for that one. But I know that bet is going to pay off massively. And I just want to make it very clear, this is not that 6th stone that I'm very confident in. So I hope you guys know the way I see it this cycle. To be honest, my top memes truly this cycle, Brett is number 1. All right, I see, I see the 6th stone as number 2, and then I see Tron Bull as number 3 next to Ponky. Okay, Tron Bull and Ponky. Guys, I hate typing or writing this out on my freaking computer, but if you've been following me, you know Brett number 1, 6th stone is number 2, Tron Bull number 3 with Ponky. Okay, and then from there, Bobo Redo 4 and 5. Okay. So anyways, that's kind of my meme coin rankings for the cycle. I'm not like most people. Most people hold like 100+ meme coins. They spray and pray. Nah, I just pick the absolute best of the best, and what I know is gonna actually hold value this cycle and do a shitload of X's from where I got in, because fundamentally it makes sense, and I know that other people see it too. Now, final prediction I'm gonna call out here, if you made it to the final end of this video, is that this easily gets into the hundreds of millions. Now, does it break into a billion plus, territory? I think that's just dependent on the chain and how big Tron goes. So if you're super bullish on Tron and you think Tron's gonna blow up to 50 billion plus a cycle, then yeah, it would make sense that this should go to a billion plus, and the numbers make sense too. But once again, it's a leverage bet on Tron. It's highly dependent on Tron, but it's gonna be a leverage bet. It's gonna outperform Tron to the upside whenever Tron goes up. So anyways, I'm truly confident to put that stamp down and put my balls on the line and say, yeah, I think this goes to hundreds of millions with ease. So last piece of advice, man, when you're up multiples, I don't care if it's 2x, 5x, 20x, 50x, get your initials out so you can ride risk-free. And that's one of the best ways you can support a coin or a community that you're in. You get risk-free so you're not stressing out in a coin and being all emotional. And in that way, the more people in a coin actually get their initial money out and are riding risk-free, stress-free, the more successful that coin can often be, because the holders, they're not too affected by the outcome now because they've already secured their initial investment. So I highly encourage people, as you're up multiple, if you're up 2x, whatever x, get your initial investment out, and it'll make you feel so much better and more confident. And then you can legit, the way I think of it is, you're owning digital real estate on this chain in the form of a meme coin, right? And so that's what I'm doing. I'm going around, I'm capturing digital real estate on the best blockchains of the cycle. And for me, that's Base, that is Telegram, and that is Tron, that is Ethereum, and that is Solana. So owning a top meme coin on those chains. And last thing, dude, these memes have so much upside. So if you can get risk-free on these things that can go up 10, 20, 50x more, you put yourself in a really good position. And that's what I continue to put myself in that position, as well as other people that follow me. And that's why a lot of people like watching what I actually get into, because I don't get into a lot of things, but when I do, it makes a shitload of sense, and they're actually good bets that make a lot of sense. We'll let the results speak for itself, guys. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.